Hi, it's Maggie the Aries Gypsy here to bring you your May 2019 general reading. We're looking at the first half of May from the 1st to the 15th. Thanks to everyone for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers and any first timers, and welcome back to regular followers and subscribers. Thank you all so much for all your support, feedback, and comments. And thanks to all of my clients out there, both regular and new, for always keeping me so busy with personal one-on-one readings. I always want to thank you. It's an honor. And I appreciate it. If any of you are interested in scheduling a personal reading with me, live or recorded, you can click on the description link below for more info and contact details, or go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on the little About button there. Please feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I do readings about 6 days a week now. It is what I do full-time, the sum total of what I do. So I can usually respond to your initial inquiry with more info in the same day or within the first 24 hours. And I'm pretty diligent about working with people's schedules and my schedule to get you a reading as quickly as possible. So email me if you're interested. We'll go from there. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. So moving right into this is for the fire sign of Aries for the first half of May 2019, the 1st through the 15th. If you know your rising sign, moon sign, Venus sign, watch those videos as well, because that can provide additional clarification for you. General readings, as many of you know, always resonate a little differently for everybody watching, because there's so many of you watching, and everybody's lives, of course, are different. Okay, Aries, your cards are just kind of jumping all over the place. Let's see what's in store for our beautiful Rams for the first half of May 2019. All right, Aries, we begin with the King of Swords, followed by the Knight of Swords for the first week or so, time always being a bit fluid. The second week or so, we have the Lovers, followed by the Knight of Wands. And these two knights are sitting side by side too, so you may feel some sense of urgency about this. And overall energy from the bottom of the deck, representing the overall focus and energy for the first half of May, is the Ace of Cups. So overall energy, the overall general focus for the first 2 weeks of May, we have the Ace of Cups. It can represent new love and romance and emotional renewal, the heart opening up again, which I feel like it is for many of you. For some of you, it might be new love and romance. Cups is water energy, which is the emotional feeling relationship part of our life. Aces represent the number one, a new start, a new beginning, or the possibility and potential of that. But I feel like for a lot of you, it is emotional renewal within an already existing relationship, which is interesting. I mean, I try to interpret the cards in a variety of different ways, but sometimes they come across as, you know, purely relationship readings. Doesn't necessarily have to be love and romance, although you have the Lovers, so it likely is. And it's interesting, Aries, because I did Leo's a few readings back earlier today, and they had some very similar cards as well, the Lovers and the Ace of Cups too, I believe. So perhaps some of you, perhaps it's something in the air for fire signs, and perhaps some of you might be involved with Leo and vice versa too. But I feel like emotional renewal, the heart beginning to open up again, which can imply also a sense of healing, is the focus for the first half of May, and making decisions about that, because the Lovers is about a very connected, passionate, can be soulmate or twin flame relationship, and about making a choice. And that choice can be about the relationship itself, or it can be a choice in another area of your life that significantly impacts the relationship as well. We have the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords in the first week or so of May. So Swords is air energy. That's the element which governs the suit. And in the tarot, this is the energy of things that go on up in our heads. Words, ideas, how we communicate, our belief systems and ideologies, because that what we believe and how we perceive things affects the way that we look at the world, relate to the world, and communicate our own words and ideas and feelings to people and to the world in general. So that's the energy of air. It's mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. Now, kings and queens represent individuals who have mastered their suit. Means that they have gotten to a place of self-discipline and mastery and control over the character traits inherent to their suit. So the King of Swords is very intelligent, if not well educated. He's a very good communicator, and he knows how to get his thoughts and words across very directly, very to the point. He sometimes may come across as maybe a bit cool or aloof or emotionally reserved. He's not necessarily. The court cards from the Suit of Swords feel things just as deep, if not deeper, than other people. But he's learned to kind of master that. He's all about getting the truth and the clarity of something out and doing the right thing. That's what he's very focused on as well. He will actually sacrifice his own emotions or his own desires in place of doing the right thing. If what he feels is the right thing is not necessarily what he wants to do, he's going to do the right thing and put his emotions to the side. So truth, enlightenment, clarity, and very good communication is all very important. And I think very important for you, Aries, in the first part of May. And because the King of Swords, I mean, this could be an air sign person that could be influential, a therapist even, or a friend. I feel like for a lot of you, it is the energy of the King of Swords you're being asked to manifest. And because it's sitting next to the Lovers, I feel like a conversation needs to take place, or that there will be conversations taking place in the first half of May. It's interesting because this is so similar to Leo's, and that was a few readings ago. So you might be in a relationship with another fire sign. So I feel like you need to be very direct and open about your communication with the other person. And I feel like you need to focus on what is the right thing to do in this situation, because I feel like there's a decision or a choice to be made about the future of the relationship moving forward, which is usually what many decisions are when it comes to relationships, moving forward to the next step and the next step. Do your best to be loving and compassionate about this too. But be open and honest about it, because it looks like a choice needs to be made, and so therefore conversation and communication needs to take place. And it needs to be focused too on what is the best thing for everybody involved, not just for you and not just for your partner, because the King of Swords looks at what's best, what is the right, the ethical thing to do here. Now, he's clarified by the Knight of Swords, who is the deliverer of this news, information, conversation. It's an awful lot of air energy. It's an awful lot of very direct and to the point energy, which I feel like you are a lot of the time, Aries, anyway. Just make sure to temper this with a bit of love and compassion, because it definitely looks like there's no lack of love between the two of you. This conversation needs to take place, and it needs to be open and honest and direct, but loving as well. The Lovers is accompanied by the Knight of Wands. So another, Knights often represent offers and opportunities coming in, and usually the speed at which situations move to. And these two Knights are sitting side by side. It may be that this is a very fast moving situation. It may be that this decision needs to be made very quickly, whatever this is about moving forward. It could be about moving too, for some of you, or travel, or for Leo, they had some of them, it was perhaps about setting up another home base somewhere else. It could be that as well, or travel, because the Knight of Wands can imply fast travel. It could be that somebody decides to travel very quickly, and so this conversation, this communication needs to take place fairly quickly, because with two Knights together, it implies a great deal of rapid movement and an urgency as well. So it may be that this needs to take place before somebody travels, before something else happens, not something in terms of something ominous, but it feels like there's some plans or something that's set in the near future, and that there's a sense of urgency in figuring out what decision and choice is to be made about this relationship, the best thing to do, so that it can be in place by the time, I think, one of you travels, or it could be some of you are thinking about moving or relocating as well, or traveling back to some place. And it's about emotional renewal and where this relationship is going forward, and about healing too, and if you're both on the same page about that. Let's get a clarifying card about this communication, this conversation, this emotional renewal. Justice and the Empress, two major arcana cards, and you have the Lovers too. So I think this is a pretty significant thing in your life right now, Aries. Justice is also about doing the right thing, being open and honest and transparent as possible. And the Empress represents that now is the right time. It's fertility. It's also a card of new beginnings. So I feel, Aries, like there is an opportunity for you in this relationship moving forward. And I feel like this conversation needs to take place. It needs to be open, honest, and transparent. You need to be open, honest, and transparent about your feelings and what you want, and so do they. It's the right time to do it. But there's some stress about being transparent and not keeping your ideas and your plans to yourself, because if in terms of renewal and moving forward, it's time for everybody to kind of, I'm going to use a pun here, lay all their cards out on the table, and don't hold anything back, because I get the feeling that for some of you, Aries, not all of you, but for some of you, there's always a certain amount of your future plans that you want to keep to yourself for some reason, and that now is the time to be open and honest and transparent about that, and do whatever it is you think the right thing is to do. Let me pull one last guidance card, Aries. One last piece of advice from Spirit. The Seven of Swords in reverse. In the upright, it is the concealment card. Deception, sometimes concealing. There's a goal that needs to be met. You're keeping your plans and your secrets to yourself. Sometimes it can represent theft, exploitation, lies. In the reverse, it represents being out in the open, not being sneaky, being out in the open, being, again, very open and honest and transparent about what you want, what your plans are, what your decisions are, and considering your partner as well. I think like Leo's, this came out purely as a romance relationship reading, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I do try and interpret them in different ways when I can, but this one, that's just what it's coming out with. Now, this Lovers doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, but at the very least, it's a relationship that has a lot of emotion and passion to it. I think for the majority of you, it's a romantic connection, but for some of you, it may be a relationship of a different nature. However, the specifics and details vary, which they will in a general reading. The energy and advice fundamentally remains the same. Be open, be honest, be forthright in your communication. It looks like it needs to take place over the next couple of weeks. And don't keep it all out in the open here. So Aries, that pretty much wraps up your May 2019 general reading from the 1st to the 15th. I hope you found it helpful and useful. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, please feel free to click on the description bar below for more info and contact details. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you. I do love and romance, of course, compatibility charting, career work and finance, investment readings. I do 6 and 12 month overviews, which take a look at what's coming in all the main areas of your life over a 6 or 12 month period. And I also offer gift readings too for friends, family, and loved ones. So a few things to choose from. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that link is also provided. There's a few different reading options on Instantgo, but most people use it for quick answers to quick, easy questions. For more complicated issues or in-depth look at a situation, the more traditional readings are best, I think. So I will see you in look, I'm dribbling over my words. So Aries, I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the May mid-month readings, where we will take a look at the second half of the month. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care. Bye-bye.